Finally, I am live again. Welcome back to another Monday Market Update with Kristen Mason Correas, owner of the Homes by Mason team. Today is August 19th. I was not here last Monday because I was taking a well-deserved and needed vacation break. So I was off last Monday, feeling re-energized today and back and busy and excited to be back and busy. So although I am late today, I don't think anyone notices because I don't think anyone actually watches me live, but you can always catch the replays on Facebook or also now bringing it to you on YouTube as well. So anytime you want to make sure to not miss any of these Monday Market updates, please be sure to like my Facebook page and or subscribe to the Homes by Mason YouTube channel. And that is Homes by Mason on Facebook as well, not my personal page, but the business page. So what can I tell you today? Today, we're going to talk about what we normally talk about, as well as the monthly data is out. So the middle of each month, we get the monthly report for the prior month. So we have the data looking at the month over month data for July for the Northern Virginia interior. That's how that came out. Locations where the hyperlocal area we work most. So we'll look at that as well, but we'll start as we normally do with interest rates. So there's some good news in interest rates. They came up a touch from the week before, but we are basically now hovering around 6.5% versus we have been hovering around 7% for a really long time. So we are around the lowest level that we have been at in all of 2024. So that is exciting news for buyers who want to be able to save money each month. And buyers, be aware that they may increase your competition out there in the buying field as more buyers get off the fence as the interest rates come down. We do continue to expect interest rates to come down even further, perhaps in September after the Fed meets on mid-September on 17th and the 18th, I think is when that's happening. In the economy, we are hearing that inflation is moving in the right direction and employment is moving in the wrong direction for people with jobs, but in the right direction for interest rates. So when the employment market is not as good, that helps give reason to the Fed to lower their interest rate. If I've got it right, I've been looking at this stuff for a long time and I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And so in terms of homes on the market inventory from a national perspective, there is a 1.3% increase for the week and actually almost 41% more homes, single family homes for sale than last year. So nationally, regionally, we are seeing an increase in inventory, but what's interesting is actually in our hyper-local area, not necessarily. So I'm planning to share my screen here with you in a bit to show you that as well. Mortgage applications reached their highest level since January 2023. Why is that? Because interest rates have come down. So I've been saying it, and it makes sense, people, that interest rates came down, so more buyers are now applying for mortgages and planning to buy homes. Refinance applications also jumped 35% for the week. So that is what's happening nationally. When we take a look at the regional data for the Mid-Atlantic area, new contracts ticked upward, which is interesting this time of year. Inventory does continue to rise and showing activity continues to slow. So less showing activity, I don't understand, and I have seen this for a couple of weeks now, why we have less showing activity but more contracts. So that is interesting how that works out. I guess the buyers who are out there are serious buyers writing contracts, and maybe we just have fewer looky-loos in terms of showings. That may be what that means. So 3.7% increase from the same week last year in terms of an increase in contracts. And then for the DC metro area, I go over this in my weekly market report. If you're on my email, I go over this data. So this basically is showing what I would expect, except for the same thing that we just saw in the region. Contracts are up week over week and year over year, even though the other things are down. Showings are down year over year in the DC metro area and week over week. And yeah, but contracts are up. And median time to contract has increased by 2 days year over year. It's flat week over week. So the average right now in the DC metro area is 23 days from going on the market to under contract, giving buyers a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of time to think, maybe sleep on it overnight before making a decision to write a contract. New listings are up a touch year over year, but down from last week, which makes sense for the summer months. And active listings are up almost 40% year over year, a big number for the DC metro area, up a touch week over week. And prices continue to, well, it's basically flat year over year and a touch down, 5% down week over week. So generally that's what I would expect this time of year, except for the purchase contracts being up. And that's the DC metro area. So it's so interesting that in our hyperlocal area, the inventory is not really showing increases like everything else is showing. So I'm going to, again, plan to share that with you here shortly. I'm going to try to share my screen with you. But first, let me get through this. So the hyperlocal information that we have for Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax County, and Falls Church as of this past week, last Monday, when I was out of town until yesterday, 8/12 to 8/18, new listings are down 5% week over week, and contracts, though, were up as well, as we saw in the regional data and the DC metro data. So up 5.3%. In terms of new contracts week over week. The demand to supply ratio, which compares basically how much inventory is left over, comparing how many contracts were written versus how many new homes came on the market, that was 92.83% in terms of what was gobbled up, how much demand was out there, a lot of demand. And so the average in 2023 in terms of contracts written each week was 310 for the hyperlocal area. We were at 298 this past week. So not too far off from that average. So again, it tells me that the buyers who are out there are serious buyers. So then let's give you a glance at the monthly data that I have for you. So I'm going to share my screen. If this works, this will be very exciting. I've been wanting to do this for you all. There's my screen. So the monthly report for July in the Northern Virginia area shows us that year over year, new listings were up 1.5%, and week over week we're talking about month over month data now. Month over month we were down, which makes sense. So let me jump ahead here. This is the 2-year trend. This is what I have emblazoned in my head when I talk about how the market trends, is this line here. This data here is what I always like to see, because it shows pretty clearly how prices trend. Prices trend upward and then tend to peak in the spring and then tend to trend down. And so you can see some fluctuation that was largely related to probably interest rates changing at the end of last year. But generally, this is one of the charts emblazoned that shows me, prices go down because activity goes down after the peak in the spring. And then the blue bars are closed sales. So again, we can see more homes close, more homes sell in the spring season than towards the end of the year. So that's why I always say this is what I would expect. So pending contracts were down both year over year and month over month. And closed sales, though, were up. Generally, I don't pay that much attention to the closed sales. I like to look at this other stuff because I'm always trying to project what's coming. I don't necessarily care about what's already happened. I mean, it does give us obviously some information but I'm always trying to see what's coming, what's ahead. So the pendings I like to look at, and price. So price is down month over month, but up year over year. That is generally what we're seeing. Prices go up in our area year over year. Homes are appreciating, not depreciating year over year, even though we see these seasonal fluctuations. So yes, price came down That makes sense. Our peak is usually May or June. So we peaked in June. We will probably continue to see prices come down month over month. Although, like we did last year, if interest rates come down, we'll probably see maybe prices come down and then back up, and a little bit of this jagged chart again this year if interest rates do continue to come down. Active listings, you can see compared to our 5-year average, we are below our 5-year average still, but not at a minimum. So although we keep hearing that inventory is increasing, we are not at a minimum. So below the average, but not as bad as it could be, which it had been for a long time in recent time. Average days on market for the Northern Virginia specifically market, 16 versus 23 for the DC metro area. So our area does tend to be a bit stronger than the larger, wider area. Things tend to move quickly. 16 days is the 5-year average, as well as this July. Average sold price to original list price. How close to asking price are people getting? And this says basically people are getting their asking price. 100.4% is the average sold to original list price for the month of July 2024. And that is what the 5-year average is. So that is the monthly report for the Northern Virginia region. Let me show you, I've got here Arlington Industry Watch market activity comparing Q2 to past years. So this here is what I found surprising, and I want to share with you that homes for sale are actually down in 2024 in Arlington County compared to 2023 and 2022. So these are the number of homes for sale, down by 11%. Same thing in Fairfax County. So Fairfax County homes for sale down 15.9% compared to 2023. And also that was down from 2022. And Alexandria City, we see the same thing. Homes for sale down 10.8% in Q2 of 2024 compared to 2023, which was down from 2022. So that is your market update for this week. And hold on, I'm trying to stop sharing my screen. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. I am here to help you make sense of what is happening in this market, help you to try to see the trends and see what's coming. That's what I enjoy doing. And so if you find value in this, please give me a like on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube and come back each week. And I am here most weeks, except for if I'm on vacation, which is rare. So I will be back. I plan to be back here next Monday for another Monday market update. And thank